Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Well folks, Rome is starting to burn. I mean, the fire's been going for a while. It's not like someone just said it last night, but I think the flames are starting to really get engulfed and just growing and starting to get out of control. We are 2 days away from Title 42 expiring, and already we're seeing a big uptick at the border. Border Patrol reported yesterday that in the last 72 hours, they have tracked 33,000 illegals coming across the border in the last 72 hours. There are estimates of anywhere between 700,000 and 1 million people headed to the border. Reports of around 80,000 number in a caravan coming out of Guatemala. Video yesterday of a very large caravan of thousands, maybe tens of thousands, about 120 miles from the border, headed that direction. It's a lot. And it's going to get pretty bad down there. I have heard reports that there are militias of veterans and retired police officers at or headed to the border, but I have not been able to confirm that at all. I've seen no news reports from any mainstream or alternative news agency talking about that. Just heard whispers. So can't confirm that, but I did see that Governor Abbott of Texas is sending some Texas National Guard down there to try to shut things down. I've seen videos of caravans of tour buses headed to the border. Things are about ready to explode there. This is bad. It's not the only thing going on. Putin stated yesterday that the war has reached a turning point. It's about to get serious. That NATO has been waging a full-scale war against them. There's been more attacks inside of Russia, in even Moscow. There's video of several structures in Moscow burning. Some of these are drone attacks. Some of these are just terrorist-type attacks. They say they have pretty strong evidence that this is being coordinated by the U.S. government. They have been moving some of their nuclear weapons into places they've never placed them before. The United States has said that, or the Biden administration said that they're getting ready to send over a $1.2 billion package to Ukraine. And the British said that they're getting ready to send some long-range strategic missiles to Ukraine. Also forgot to mention the border issue, that House Republicans are proposing a bill to basically shut down the border, and Biden said that if they do, that he will veto that. The money crisis isn't getting any better either. We're getting close to the debt ceiling limit. And there's a growing amount of experts, even in the mainstream and even on the left and the right, that are saying that there's a really good chance that we will in fact default this time around on our debt. Even so much that the news is reporting that Janet Yellen has been on phone calls with CEOs of top companies in the United States, preparing them and working out solutions for what we will do when we default on our debt. We've been saying it for months. All right, I got something in my eye. Been saying it for months now, probably a year, but several months, that this summer, June, July, is starting to look like their big plans could really start rolling into place. I'm not making necessarily a prediction, but I'm just revisiting that it is certainly looking that way. between all of the stuff going on, massive crowds of illegals coming across the border, major uptick in the war, debt default, CBDC, the Fed Now program starting up in July, the deals with China and Taiwan and the United States are getting more serious. China's expelled Canadian diplomats out of China and making threats against Canada, as well as us and a bunch of other people. It's starting to heat up, folks. But hey, you know, you can still go home and watch your TV, whatever's on. I have no clue. I couldn't tell you probably one TV show that's on, but go watch it. Sports, you know, do things, have fun, drink and be merry. For tomorrow we all may die. I mean, that's really what it's starting to feel like. And I know it's so doomsday. It's so terrifying. Why can't we talk about something positive? This is too much. It's all bad news. Well, it's also reality, folks. It's all really starting to happen. And it's looking pretty dark and grim. And we have to brace ourselves for whatever is going to happen, even if not everything happens. Something is happening. Some of these things are happening, and very possibly all of these things. Are we about to see a World War III? Are we about to see a massive invasion that could turn into a real kinetic border war? Are we about to watch the U.S. economy, U.S. dollar, all bottom out? Who knows? If you remember, just a few days ago, I was reporting that the United States was offering a bribe, that's what I call it, of $500,000 to Pakistani teachers to teach transgender garbage in Pakistan, which is astronomical. I did the math. The average Pakistan teacher, that $500,000 is more than they would earn in 10 lifetimes. Anyways, so Biden announced that last week, and then yesterday Pakistan announced that they're no longer using the US dollar. They're done. Goodbye, US dollar. Huh. Amazing. Funny how that works out. We're watching the world rapidly change right before our eyes. We are living in a major inflection point in history. We're watching history be made. And we don't know how the world is going to look afterwards. I mean, will there even be people reporting on history, or is it all going to be over? Who knows? And that may be a little dramatic, but I don't think it's too far from the truth of what are things going to look like once we get through this period, and how long will this period be? I've seen even experts say at least a decade. At least a decade. We're watching a lot of stuff happen, and I think even for the prepared mind, it's overwhelming, and we want to try to tune things out, discount things. Well, it may not be quite that bad. I don't want to get too worked up over this. It may not turn out quite like it's all said. I mean, I know that for the last 3 years it's all been doing all the bad stuff that we thought it wasn't really going to happen. But maybe this time around, things will be somewhat normal and be okay. It doesn't look like that, folks. And at this point in this game of the last few years, I think it's pretty safe and smart to just assume that bad things are really going to happen, and be surprised and be happy when they don't. We need to be prepared for this massive influx of illegals. And absolutely it's going to be dangerous anywhere along the border. I was talking to family yesterday that live an hour and a half, 2 hours from the border, and they said that just in the last, weeks and few months, that the amount of criminal activity, drug activity, all kinds of stuff. And they're in not some big metropolis type area, just a, decent middle class working, community, but it's just skyrocketed. We have to be prepared for that, because it's not just going to be the border towns, 1 million people or more, and 5 to 10 times the amount coming across the border consistently. It's not going to take very long, folks, for there to be many millions of people that have illegally entered this country. And even if just 1% of those are criminal or foreign adversaries or anything like that, which we know statistically it's more than 1%. But even if it's just 1%, we're talking tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of criminal elements that are coming here just to do harm. And they're going to spread all over the United States. Not just because they're going to be running all over the United States, but we're spreading them. Because you can't keep them all on the border, so they're moving them all over the United States. This is bad. We've got the possibility, real, maybe more real than any time since World War II, of an actual global war getting really red hot in the next days, and at most the next few weeks. And then we are watching the US economy, the US currency, the US banking system. We're watching it kind of burn. We're watching it fold in. We're watching the world say, nah, I don't think we really want to be riding on this train any longer. You and I, well, we're just caught up in the middle. We're like the innocent victims of all of this. And most people don't know what to do. Most people are going to ride this train. They're going to ride the Titanic as it goes down, because they don't know any other way. Or at least they're not thinking that way. But you're different. You've seen this for a while. You've been watching this coming. You know it's going to happen. And it's sad. It's mournful to watch the collapse and fall of the United States, this great nation that most everyone watching has loved and been very patriotic and all that. It's sad to watch it all fall, but you got to get through the morning, get it out of the way, get it over with. And you got to get ready. Don't be tethered to the system so that it drags you down with it when it sinks. If you're standing on that Titanic, or you just happen to jump off right as it's going under, what's going to happen? It's going to drag you down with it. You need to abandon ship as soon as possible and get out and away from that ship as it's going down. And that means you need to be self-sufficient. You need to be looking at every area of your life and figuring out what you can disconnect from. If the US currency goes down, how's that going to hurt you? If the supply chain goes down, how's that going to hurt you? If social services and law enforcement, police, and all that goes down, how's that going to hurt you? How can you live outside the system? You need to be working on that, and you need to be putting it into high speed, high gear, kick that supercharged turbo nitrous in, and you need to be moving fast because things are looking that way. In the end, if nothing happens, which is very doubtful that nothing happens, but if it does, what have you done? Well, you've just made yourself a little bit more prepared, a little bit more self-sufficient. But I'm telling you, folks, now's the time to start cutting ties with all of this. You need to be getting your houses in order in a very, very serious way. Preparing yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. It's time to start getting your plans ready, revisiting them, making sure you're your plan to pull the plug is ready to go. Folks, this is serious. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.